Hello, hello. So I recorded that last night, and at the point where it shuts off, that's what happened is it just shut off. And I had kept talking and didn't realize it, but it shut off. So I went to go watch it and see where it ended off so I could finish, and it was gone. The video disappeared. I was so sad. So I was like, oh, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. That's okay. And I got ready for the rest of my stuff for bed, went to bed. And then I woke up this morning and the video was there. So I watched it to see where it left off at. And I thought I'd pick it back up and finish it real quick before I head out. I'm on my way out to go do dinner with a friend and stuff tonight. I'm going to go get some stuff and make dinner. And oh, it's going to be fun. Hello, sir. Mr. Sir here gets to come. Mwah. Anywho, so we got the third house. We got to that third house, and I do remember we did end up getting engaged right before we moved there, and then we had planned we were going to do the wedding at the house. And so that was all good. We planned, but it was weird. Once we got to the house, things between him and me were just always kind of different. I can't really explain it. Like, neither of us really did anything bad to each other, or like both of us were good people, but something just changed. The guy, when he attacked, or not attacked, but tried to break in, it scared me so much and like triggered some PTSD stuff that just never quite got me back to the same. And I don't know if it did like similar to him or just because I was different, it made him different. I don't know, but stuff was never quite the same after that. So we got engaged, but it was never like super happy. Like, he was a good person. We could have had a good life together, been happy, but it was just, I can't explain it. It just wasn't right. So anyway, we got things built up. I'm still doing caregiving, and I decided to go ahead and do the chickens full time because in that second house, I had already got like eggs that I was selling, and I was doing like cool stuff with chickens where I had the different colored eggs that like the Easter eggers and Ericanas lay. I had all the different shades, and I had figured out how to like which colors mix with what and stuff. So I was like trying to make new colors. And then also by the time I got to the next house, I had found these cool, and they're birds called sizzles, and which all the birds I had these super fancy ones. And then this is the one I keep, this little man right here. He is just a handsome little sucker. But anyway, what the sizzles are is they're two different kinds that you mix together, silkies and cochins, and which are two of my favorite birds that I had anyway. So I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And it's a new breed people are trying to make, kind of like a labradoodle. So like with labradoodles, you take, a lab and a poodle, you mix them together. And there's all this stuff you got to do. Like people just do this where they make them, and to get them to be an actual breed. So again, the example of the labradoodle, once you get to, so with chickens, it's the fourth generation. And then once that generation the sizzles can make new sizzles where they look all like sizzles, and they're not like some look coach and some like, they just come out looking, that's when you know it's a real breed. And I could get all into it, but you research and it has to, all this certain stuff. And I had written it all down and collected all the information and was helping to do the research to be able to make that breed a real breed. And then at the same time, I was making bank selling these guys, because when you got the perfect, like, show quality, like I never showed them, but I would make them show quality because it was fun. You could get $400 a piece. So once we got over to the house, like I was making pretty good money with it and selling the eggs and stuff like that. And so I was kind of doing my own business and still doing caregiving at the time. And my ex helped me build these coops. It was awesome. We had this house had almost an acre. And so I had a bunch of different coops, and I was able to have the different breeds and the roosters separate and all that. So like I knew, which ones were laying what and what was making what. So the stuff I made was pure, and I knew what they all were, and I could put them online and like let people know exactly what they were. And I had people that would only buy stuff from me. That's how I met one of my friends. Is she was kind of nervous and stuff like I was, going out and doing things. and she liked my stuff. So instead of having to deal with other people, she would tell me what she wanted, and then I'd breed that for her, be like, okay, I have it. So we became friends in the meantime while I was doing all that. And then while all this was happening, a lot of it just crazy bad random stuff happens to me. It's the weirdest thing, like with happening to be next to that neighbor where he just attacked and stuff, like just stuff you can't even expect. So a lot of that had happened throughout all this, and I just kept getting scared and more scared, and I was getting to the point where I couldn't leave the house. And so I would literally just go to work, come back and work on the chickens, go to work, and I do art and all that stuff and just kind of do the best I could. But I was so depressed. I was so sad. Like, I was at the points where I wasn't wanting to live anymore, and like I had started cutting myself on, like, just not like I never purposely tried to kill myself, but like I just wanted to feel something that was, I don't know, it was just getting awful and awful. And at the time we were planning the wedding and stuff, and me and him had actually talked about like postponing it, but our moms had helped so much and we're so excited that we didn't want to like disappoint people. And so we still did it, and it was fun. Like, it was a beautiful wedding. One of my best friends did all the food for the potluck, and then I had my best friend that where I'm living right now, her, and then the other friend that we did the caregiving together. He helped me from Petco to the other one. Those two were in the wedding, and then my other friend from caregiving too, his boyfriend, her husband now. And then that was so fun. He helped with so much stuff. Oh, thank you, sir. He enjoyed it as well. Well, he wasn't there quite yet. And then my brother ended up doing that ceremony, and we brought out all of Grandpa's Lutheran stuff, and so it was kind of like Grandpa was there too, and my brother did that. So it was a fun wedding, and like I said, he was such a good person. we did for the reception, we did karaoke and sang the song from Moulin Rouge. And as we started to sing it, the music shut off, and we ended up just doing it a cappella. It was super fun. So anyway, like, there was good things that was keeping me going and stuff, but things just kept happening. And thank you. When that happened, or right after that, we went on our honeymoon. And like, I had thought to myself, all right, this is where it's going to start over. Everything's going to be good from here. We're going to go, me and him are going to get closer from, the honeymoon. We can talk about all the stuff that happened and just kind of, start over. So we went to Disney World, and so Florida, and my uncle lives down there. And so we went for almost 2 weeks, and for the first week, so it was probably more like 4 days and then 4 days, but time and stuff. Okay, sir, we're done with that now. Thank you. This is my life. He crows like this all day long. Yay. So anywho, the first part of it was amazing. My uncle and his lady are just wonderful people, and they spoiled the heck out of us. They took us to, oh God, I can't remember the name of the place now, but it's an island over there near Tampa, and little area, and we went and did that, and they got us a hotel, and we did lunches, and it was super fun. It was so fun. And then we went to go to Disney World, and I had tried to talk him into getting a hotel in Disney World, but he wanted to save some money and get it on the outside. And so we ended up having to, the hotel itself was super sketchy, and they had messed some stuff up, and it was just I can get into the whole thing sometime if we ever want to, but a lot of just awful stuff happened for Disney World, which is crazy. Like, we had fun, but then random horrible things would happen. It'd be like, what the? So we just kind of dealt with Disney World. By the end of the last like 4 or 5 days or whatever it was, we were just wanting to get home. It was like, we're out, we're done, it's awful, we wanted to leave. And then the last thing that, oh my gosh, there was some like super scary things. I gotta talk about it sometime like this. There was one where we drove around. Okay, this one I gotta at least say. We drove around, they had a van that would pick you up at a certain time for the hotel. There were a couple times in the morning and then a couple times in the evening for shuttles going to and from to Disney World. And get him to crow a little quieter. Sorry, bird. anyway, we had done that, and the one taking us home that night, we got the last one, and there was probably like they ended up having a bus instead of the van this time, and there was about 18 to 20 people, and maybe 6 of those were kids, little kids too. And I was exhausted. I kept almost falling asleep on the bus, and it kept going on and on forever. It should have been like a 20-minute drive. And it just kept going on and on and on. And I'd wake up and go, where are we? And we'd be at some other hotel, and it'd be like, no, this one's not ours yet. Because we were all for the same hotel. It wasn't like he was going other places. So I'd go back to sleep for a sec. Finally, like almost 2 hours had gone by. And I sat up and was like, what is going on? Because what kept waking me up too is the guy was swerving and would almost hit people. And like, so I didn't know, the guy must have been drunk or on drugs. Like if I hadn't been so tired and stuff, I would have got off sooner, but I didn't realize what was going on until I like woke up and looked at the time. And so the next hotel we were at, I was like, I'm getting off. I don't feel safe. This is ridiculous. And so I got off. And when I did, all these other people stood up on the bus and were like, we're getting off too. We're going after her. And one of the families that got off was one that had kids. So there ended up being about 7 or 8 people that got off. And then there was also, I think it was like 3 or 4 kids or so. And we went into this hotel, and they all went and sat in the lobby. And I said, I'll go up to the front and talk. And I had them all go sit in the lobby. And I went up and I talked to the guy and told him what was going on. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't even know where we're at. I mean, I don't know. I live up in Washington. I don't know anything about down in Florida. And so he was so nice. He let me call the other hotel and explain what was going on. And the other hotel then was going to set up different shuttles that they got, like Ubers or something for all of us. And it was going to end up being just in parts where they'd come and get people. So I set it up so that the family with the kids could go home first. And it ended up taking about 30 minutes for the first one to come. And it took about a whole hour before all of us finally, the last, like my ex and me went last. And after it was all settled and stuff, they had like a vending machine. So we all kind of put our change together and got stuff. And then the hotel was really nice. They found like juice boxes and stuff. And we all just kind of sat and chilled. It was the weirdest thing. And then we all got back to that other hotel, and that other bus, it did ended up getting the last people back. But it was like 2 or 3 hours after we all got back. It was so weird. So anyway, it was the next day we were leaving, and it was like, we're out. And there, like I said, there's some other really weird, scary stuff that happened. That's the only one I'm going to talk about right now because for time and stuff. But then when we actually left, and we were, like I said, we're like, oh my God, we're out of here. We get on the airplane, and that first plane, there was one plane, and then we touched down in Denver and got on our next plane to go home. So for that first flight, the flight itself was fine. It was really cool. They had, these video things in the chairs in front of us, movie things. So we looked up a show. We timed what time it needed how long it could be that we'd be able to watch the whole thing before we landed and stuff. So we found, I don't remember what it was, but we found a movie, and then to start at the same time, we both had our fingers on the start button ready to push start. And we went 1, 2, 3, and then play. And so we watched this movie. And then towards the end, one of the flight attendants was going around doing these, what are they called? Credit card offers. And you get extra airline miles when you use this credit card. And me and my ex had just been talking about doing this because we wanted to be able to try to do another trip that was actually fun. And we were going to try to do another, try doing another honeymoon. That's how crappy some of this stuff was. And so I saw the guy coming, and so we were going to wait and get a flyer from him, but we wanted to finish the rest of our movie, and we already knew about this card because we'd been researching it, so I didn't need to hear the whole spiel from him, So as he got there, I took one of the little headphones out and went, oh, I'll just take a flyer. Thank you so much. And as I handed it to him, he held on to it and went, I don't think so. You're going to listen to me. And I said, oh, no, thank you. My new husband and me are watching, we're honeymooning. Thank you, Bird. I'm like, oh, we're watching our new show. And he reached over, turned my show off, pulled my headphones out and said, listen here, you're going to listen to me. And got down in my face and just started telling me shit. Like, I don't even remember what he said because I, all of a sudden went in panic mode. It was like, and my ex didn't even really know what was going on. He didn't even really see because he was watching the show. And the guy was able to get so close to me because it was my ex by the window. I was in the middle, and then there was another guy that was sitting next to me, but he had just got up and went to the restroom right as the guy came. And so what he did is he stepped into the chair area where the guy would have been sitting and got up down in my face and said, "You're going to listen to me." And I got really scared. And so the pamphlet that I had now in my hands, he was still holding a whole thing of pamphlets. He was like this, holding his pamphlets in front of him like this while he was down in my face. And I was standing there with mine. And so I took the pamphlet and touched it to his and just slowly kind of pushed to try to get him. Like, I wasn't pushing him, but I literally just kind of went like this, all scared, and kind of, and as I did that,